here with Libby from libbystamps.com, and you will have seen the card that I had just before the video started, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. I've had lots of requests for how to do that. So the 3 stamp sets we're using are thoughtful banners with the coordinating Duet banner punch, Best Birds, and we're just using the little flower out of that one, and Thoughtful Branches with the coordinating framelit die, and we're using the branch out of that, and I've got some little copper leaves that I've cut out using the framelits, sorry. So we're using copper foil today. Now I have prepared some of the items earlier just to make the video go a bit quicker. So I've prepared my card base, and I'll have the measurements on my blog, and I've got Sweet Sugarplum, Whisper White and Pear Pizzazz, and I've also stamped the inside of the card, and I've stamped the front and the back of the envelope, so it's ready to go. I've also made the banner using the Thoughtful banners. So I stamped the banner first in Sweet Sugarplum, and then I've stamped the sentiment using the Thoughtful banners set in Pear Pizzazz, and then I've punched it out using the punch, the Duet banner punch, and then I've just put some Stampin' dimensionals on the back, and I've got a bit of copper metallic thread there that I'll tease out a bit more when I take the other 2 dimensionals off. Alright, so I've already started because I didn't want to waste too much time on the video, and I hope you can see this, but I've stamped the little flower from Best Birds. So I've used my embossing buddy, and then I've used Versamark ink, and I've stamped the flowers just 5 times randomly, and I've embossed them with white embossed powder, and then we're ready to go. I haven't stamped the leaves yet, so I've got my Aqua painter, and I've got my Stampin' scrub ready, and I just squeeze my Aqua painter till I get some water on the tip, and I'm just going to rub my whole piece of watercolor paper with my Aqua painter, just with the plain water to start with, until I think it's sort of fairly wet. And then I'm just going to pick up some colour, and I'm going to do the flowers in Sweet Sugarplum, so you'll be able to see when I've got a bit more water in the tip of my brush. That's better. You'll be able to see how the colour just stays inside the flower, and you just drop the colour onto it, and you do that for all 5 of them. I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to leave that one open, and I'm going to bring in some crushed curry, and I've just put re-inker in the top of these pads, so make sure the tip of your brush is nice and wet, and you pick up some crushed curry, and you're just going to dab in the middle. When you're doing this, you have to remember that your colour will fade by 2 or 3 shades. I'm going to start with my palest colour, which is the yellow, and I've got a nice wet brush, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the paler crushed curry that I've had before on my brush. Make sure there's plenty of water at the tip of my brush, and I'm just going to drop colour anywhere and just sort of paint it randomly. Plenty of water on the tip of your brush, and when you clean your brush, just clean it on your Stampin scrub, or if you haven't got one of those, which you really should have, clean it on a paper towel or something. That's all it needs. Alright, I think that's enough of the yellow. I'm going to add some sweet sugar plum. Make sure my brush is nice and wet, and I might just go over these other areas again with my brush to make sure it's still nice and wet. And it doesn't matter if you spread that yellow a bit more. Clean your brush off, make sure you've got plenty of water on the tip, and just pick up, we're just going to pick up some sweet sugar plum and just add it randomly. Just add the colour wherever, and you're just aiming to fill up the colour. Now look, see how that colour's quite dark there. So what I'm going to do is clean my brush off, bring the water down on the tip of my brush, and just go over that again. And I can use that colour in other places. Just going to go around the edges and then blend it in. So that's all we do. Alright, now I'm going to speed this process up a bit by using my heat tool. Now you'll find when you, now that this is quite wet, it's warped upwards. So if you heat it on the top, that should straighten it out. So I'll be back in a second as soon as I've dried off my card. Back again, and you'll see how that sort of virtually straightened itself out. And now I'm just going to bring in a bit of Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to stamp in some leaves randomly. So these are the leaves from the Thoughtful Branches. Then I'm going to bring in my banner. I think I'll put it about there. So I'll just take the backing off the banner. I'll spread out the metallic thread a little bit more, so it's not quite so centered. Alright, so I'm going to stick my sentiment there, and we're almost done. And I'm just going to get some Tombow, some liquid multi-purpose glue, and put a little bit on each leaf. Just hold that down for a second. Or another good trick is to put your punch on it till it sets, because the watercolor paper is still a bit damp. It takes the glue a little bit longer to set, and so sometimes you just need a bit of pressure on it. Alright, then I'm just going to flip that over, bring in my card again, put the Tombow on the back. We're done. So, I hope you liked that quick tutorial today. Come back soon because I'll have a few more for you. Thank you. Bye for now.
Hey, if you wanna play, make it about a play.